ask you this, because you had your hiatus in photon world.
Right.
And now you're back in EDA. Has the industry changed at all in that time? I know it wasn't a huge amount of time.
No, it was actually between '99 and I started walking around DAC again in 2004, and the industry has aged. I mean, we're all I hate to say it, a little balder, a little grayer, and a little thicker around the middle, and that's the natural evolution of all of the technology industries today. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is that not just EDA, but our customers, the semiconductor industry, have gone through a pretty important transposition over the past 6 years that's changing the relationship of how we can do things and how fast we can move. When I started, 20 plus years ago, God help me, in this space, we sold to industrial applications. We were one layer removed from the customer or the end user. We helped build high-performance computers, which immediately dropped down on someone's desk, or we helped design defense systems. Today, that's not our customer anymore. Our customers, most of our designs are going into consumer electronics. Even general purpose processors are in fact really targeted at the consumer electronics industry. That's a very different market. I mean, I served that market in the optical components. I was selling to the cable industry where they are so cost conscious, it's painful. So as soon as you're in that, market where you're selling to a company that then sells to a consumer products company, which then sells to a distribution channel, which then sells to the consumer, boy, the cost pressures and the just-in-time pressures, no one wants to hold inventory, everyone has to get their next design, everyone's selling to something that looks like Walmart where, it's your risk. It turns out they don't want the purple sunglasses with the big spangles on the side. You eat it. Too bad. Even if you had to make 500,000 of them for the Walmart stores that never came into play. Guess what? We sell to an industry that sells to that chain. That's changed the relationship a lot. There's a lot more pressure on the semiconductor company to keep their margins under control. They have a lot less bandwidth and a lot less spare budget to do experimental technologies and to adopt new things. They're really trying to innovate very carefully at the margin of their flow. They're not inclined to rip up their entire flow. Now, that has implications, I think, for the general business models of the top companies. I mean, they've got to look at how they serve that market, and I think Wally, Mike, Art, Rajiv are all looking at those problems. That's over my pay grade. As a startup, you have to sit there and say, am I working on a problem that is so urgent for some portion of that customer base, ideally the ones that have dollars to spend at the top of the pyramid, that I can break into the flow. And I really have to be problem-driven, customer-driven from the get-go. I can't just be looking for algorithmic innovation to get my technology to take hold. And you got to stay focused. Yeah. And back when we did Chrysalis, we were really proud when we hit our 100th logo. Bad idea in this current market. You want 5, 10, 15, 20 customers that are committed to you and where you get permission to sell more stuff as you complete their first mission. And you can't let engineering get diverted. You can't build out big channels to go lots of different directions. Different game.
Is that so? In this brave, different world, does it also put pressure on how you build and price the tool? Because I would assume that there's price pressure now, like there wasn't 10 years ago.
This is one of those things that always is a little bit of a mystery to me, and I think mystery to customers and EDA vendors about how EDA price lists get generated. We fell into some pretty bad habits where we would come up and say, well, how much is that? It's almost like military pricing. How much is the screwdriver? Oh, well, we have the off-the-shelf one that's $15 here at Target, but for you, we take this one, put the U.S. flag on it, and it's $1 million, but I'll discount it 99%. We were getting into really weird habits. I think if you can get engaged with key partners from the beginning who think this is a top 3 problem, I think what you're trying to do is find a way in which you're attacking pieces of budget rather than price points. And that's a different, the big EDA vendors play a different game than we do. We have to look at, this is how much dollars they have allocated for this class of problem. How much of that can we win or deserve if we deliver a solution that's got that 10x, 100x, 1000x throughput advantage over what they do today? And so pricing in that model isn't so much the point so much as the value. And if you're doing one of those top 3 problems and it really has that impact on a big vendor, then you can talk about the value that you're delivering at that point in time. You can talk about the value that you deliver a year later, maybe through the same product, maybe through more product. But the conversations we're having with most of the people we're talking with today, they want to know a little bit about pricing, but they really want to know more about capacity and what the value is going to be at the end of the day.
Well, interesting new challenge for you.
Entertaining.
Very entertaining. So we will be keeping an eye on you as the months progress.
Well, we hope to keep entertaining as the time goes by.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you very much.